Hello everyone. So everything's running fine in the stream. I'll put a little intro up just for some entertainment while we're waiting. Got another 5 minutes to go. I understand it's probably pretty niche.
So I got our new editor to compose a compilation of some of the best, some of the worst, and I'm going to react to them. We've become that channel. We've become that channel. We are now just simply reacting to other people's hard work and effort. But hey, if you find it entertaining, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button and all that jazz. Shall we get straight into it? Let's get straight into it. So, as if by magic, Hesh.
Butterfly Effect, I'm Chris Horner, and this is stage 5, Tour de Suisse, 175 kilometers, about 110 miles in length. What's really exciting, of course, is the last two climbs. Penultimate climb, 8 kilometers, about 8.5%, so it's super steep, long climb, but hard, and it's going to devastate the field, of course, when you're talking over 8%. It's going to be hard on the legs. Camera comes on with 45 kilometers to go. Right away, we all got excited in the front group because we're all knuckleheads, even myself. I'm excited when I'm sitting on the couch too. It's knuckleheads to get excited, and it's knuckleheads racing. Okay, you're not going to win like this. It's not going to happen. There's no reason to be in the group. Save your legs. Sit up. You're just wasting your time. You're knuckleheads. I got excited for about 2 seconds when reality set back in that there's not a chance.
Top 10.
Ooh.
Welcome back. Yeah, they make me laugh, those two. So this race, I'll be using Xert. So it's an indoor and outdoor bicycle computer basically for your phone. So you got all your sensors, you can change all your recording screens. You got your Vario radar, and also, but the Vario radar only works with Amp Plus at the moment. I'm not sure if Vario radar even uses Bluetooth because of Garmin. But then you've also got other things as well, like you've actually got your weather. So I'll press start. Hopefully everything works fine. I've had Amp Plus issues, so I've been using Bluetooth, and then today I've had Bluetooth issues on, so I've reverted back to Amp Plus. Okay, so at the moment you can see I'm doing 120 watts. It's all pretty self-explanatory, but batteries obviously for the phone, and you got the different fields. So this, because this is not a workout, I don't have some of the screens, but as you can see, you can change. If I just tap on the screen, in those little boxes, I can change the settings. And if you go to outside, that's when you can actually get outdoor stuff. So you got a radar. Now the great thing about this player, we've got 1 minute 40. Great thing about this player is it's, because it's, hey David, the player's on your phone, so it uploads straight to the cloud, and then anyone who has an account can see me riding my metrics while I'm riding outdoors. So if David wanted to, he could look up my ride while I don't ride outdoors very often. Maybe I can watch David's metrics. So that's in this sessions player. A lot of the metrics there. Now I've got to make sure I go to the actual, problem is when I go to Zwift, lose the metrics, or the live metrics. in the OBS player. So there we go, it should be updating live now. So if I stop pedaling, obviously a little slight delay. There we go. Anyway, I better get concentrating back on the race. We'll look at the Xert Sessions player a bit later on, but you can actually, on the right hand side with all the MPA, you can actually line up all the athletes. So you can have 20, 30 athletes with all the metrics up there. So if you've got a team time trial, you can see what each rider's doing live, which is against UCI rules. But if you're racing in British time trials, okay, what do we got? 8 seconds. It's not a very big field, so hopefully it's a bit chilled this race. Let me know if the audio is okay. So it's 37 kilometers, I think, this race. So I'll get the companion app just to check on the last lap. Make sure it is the last lap. So you can see on the app, the outer purple ring, that's my MPA. So if I go back to the MPA, it was at 1300, now it's at 1283. Yeah, same with me, Reuben. When I started, I looked up to see where my power was. So XSS is basically Xert's version of TSS. It's not one-to-one because XSS is calculated differently. This is a reverse hilly. I need better goggles. I might put some, test out a little bit of background music. Tell me if it's too loud. Just to try and drown out the noise. Yeah, you get more, basically what they call XSSR, which is your XSS rate. You can see they're going to include it in a later update, but it will show you what your real-time XSS burn is. So you can do 120 XSR if you drop your MPA. So if you go hard at the start like I have and my MPA's been depleted, even riding below threshold, I'm still accumulating more than 100 XSS per the hour. We'll go to the sessions player. I've got to do that. Go back to the live. Now it's got a workout there, but that's obviously not what I'm doing. I think I had to set it up as a session. Whoops, got to concentrate where I'm going. Got to set up as a session, I think, to get the bottom graph to match, because I don't think at the moment I'm actually recording. But Xert EP is basically your average, or your, not average, your normalized power. Focus is the zone that you've concentrated on, or you've been working. So 8-minute focus is your GC rider. VO2 work, just the up or the back end of VO2. It's Xert's version of the 14,000 different zones that Phil follows. It means that if you've got a climb in a race, so you might ride 200 kilometers, but in that race, there might be a 4-minute climb that you've got to smash to stay with the group. When you finish the ride, it will show polarized, but it might show your focus is 6 minutes. So, cool thing about that is if you look at your historical races, you can see what your focus was. And so you can be more specific with your last few weeks. So if you know you've got to work on 2-minute focus, you can do it, even though it might be a 100-kilometer ride, because that's where the damage is done. Let's go back to the main screen. So that screen we're looking at there is being updated by the phone. They're not talking to each other through my computer. They're going to the cloud, probably to America, and back again. Time to turn the fan on, I think. I haven't even been paying attention to this. It spoke too loud because of my fan. I'll turn it down a little bit. I think that's better. This race has been pretty chill. I haven't paid attention to it. Haven't been dropped. I assume no one's raced off the front. So if we go to a focus field, there we go. So I got 9 minutes of 9 on this. That'll drop. As I'm riding easy, it will drop. We'll go up to 10 minutes. The easier a ride though, the less strain I'm accumulating, so it'll actually take a lot longer to drop. Whereas if I ride at my 12-minute power, it'll drop faster because that strain's a lot. It's a much bigger part of the bucket. But what I like, what would be good for this is team time trials. You can go into the Xert Sessions and you can see what everyone's MPA is. You can see if someone's taking too hard of turns on the front, despite them saying that they're okay. You can see that other riders haven't dug into the MPA. So the DS has a bit more information in their hands. Back to the mainstream while we trying to get dropped on this climb. Now I'll talk about the app after this. Whew. So that focus dropped like a stone. Anyway, so back to the app. It's on Android and iPhone. But on Android it's better. There's more functionality. And obviously iPhone doesn't have Ad Plus. But you don't need an internet connection to run it. Only if you want the live data. What you can do is use Wi-Fi to start the day and get your signature. And then ride. Come back home and upload it. Obviously having a connection's good, but it means you can just use a old Samsung. You can also use your Garmin. I don't think it's got live data updating though. I could be wrong. I don't have a Garmin. I've only got that bloody Wahoo, which doesn't support Xert data fields. Never will. Unlike Garmin, they don't want to open themselves up. Okay. So my MPA is down. Whoops. So I can still do 1,000 watts. If I needed to right now. We'll go back to, so difficulty, kind of your intensity. You can have a fairly low difficulty ride over 5 hours, but a very hard one over 1 hour because of your intensity. We'll go to fat burning. So you got your fat rate and your carb rate. We can change these. I'll go to 1 lap done. Sit on super tuck. Bloody sticky watts. Really hope the finish line is actually at the banner. It'll be a good joke if the finish line is one of those blue banners before or after the finishing line, but you can't see it. Pushing to the front. So after the race, I'll do a quick demonstration of what the player looks like when you're doing a workout. God, I'm pale. So the other thing is too, so I go MPA, I can see different times. And this is scaled to my MPA, but if I want to have something scaled to my power, let's scale to my power now. Get you dropped a bit. I've heard people say that the average 3 zeros during intervals, but I think it must be on the iPhone player or the Garmin maybe. Android doesn't have that issue. Not stretching out. Good thing is you can't see anyone British with you. That's dropped my MPA quite a bit. Whew. I could use the rear view to see what's happening behind. Pat's coming back. They'll all sit up now. How's the sound? Cobbles are coming up, so you might want to turn that volume down. I'll do it now and see if I remember. And the distance obviously isn't the lift distance. This is calculated on power. Few more attacks, but they're not very good to attack just here. They get good momentum. Much better to attack on the climb. So it all just comes together. So any questions? Anything you want me to check on the player? There's going to be more functions added to it. It's only new for this year. There was another Xert app, but it was basically it was designed before Xert even existed. Okay, time to go hard. Whew. Thanks, David. How's the sound? I think I'm pretty loud, actually. Bit too intense. Or intense. I wonder if they'll go attack again into the S's. Foul in the shot. Yeah. I'll show you. Well, you know what it's like when you take the fader off. Cool, thanks, David. The only thing you probably miss is distance to go. So if it's an unknown course, kind of buggered. Or people behind you. You go change camera, which is on the PC it's fine, but on Apple TV with it, pain in the ass. Hey Carl. If you're wondering what's going on, Carl, I've got the Xert player on the right hand side. My MPA, that top purple line, is how much power I can do at the moment. Like at this very moment. Not for 20 minutes or anything. Just right now. And it'll go up and down depending on how I recover. Should have been super tucking. Not paying attention. That's alright. doing. I feel love it. Keeping the flywheel spinning. So, I'm hoping this is lap 2. Yep. 37-kilometre race. Obviously no power-ups in this ride. Although that would be quite funny, having power-ups and they make it so you can't see on the app if you've got one or not. So you're just randomly pressing, hoping that you got the power-up you want. Alright, so last time they strung it out up this climb, it all came together. But it's going to be people who drop this lap. So see on the dial how, even though it shows I've still got 10-15%, almost back to 1300. I think the dial isn't linear. I'll try to turn my notifications off on my live stream. Lucky I'm not big enough like Chris Pritchard, so people aren't going to be sending me messages during the live stream. Alrighty, concentrate here. Yeah, Carl, one of the great things about this app is because it's on your phone. Oh, I'm getting blurry. Because it's on your phone, it updates the data to the internet. So if you had an Xert account, I could link my profile to you and you could watch my data as I'm riding outdoors live. Well, it's like a 3-second delay. Still. So even though it's UCI illegal, pro riders in a team time trial could use this program and the DS could see what the power the riders are doing. They probably already do it in a sneaky way, but as far as I know, I don't think any other software exists for that. Maybe there is. So you go to the Sessions player. So this is the data being broadcast live now. Obviously the workout graph on the bottom is not what I'm doing. Forgot to load up a session. So it's showing the data, but it's not actually recording it. Well, it's not really a live session as such, even though it shows the data. Oh, people are attacking this time. I might as well try and stream out. Look at that. They'll catch me on the way down, but people are hurting. Okay, well, let's string it out on the reverse KOM. There's some good sprinters in this group. I like to try and hurt their legs a little bit. I think I've got too many objects in front of my camera. Keeps losing the focus. I've got my fan on my left hand side, speaker on the right. Okay, so there's a lot of recovery after that last lap. So let's drop the MPA down on this climb. Nice hard punch. Kind of want people to come with me though. If I'm by myself, it's no use attacking. Hopefully someone else goes. And I can just sit in front of them as we come over the crest. I usually do that, David. The last race I did, only time I hit the wing was big accidental. So Carl, this is second last lap, one more to go. And I'm hoping we finish on the seaside. Otherwise, I'm going to be confused. I had one of those cat eyes when I was a kid on my mountain bike. The amount of times I ground the wire down from crashes on gravel. So annoying. Okay, so we'll get the MPA down to about 1,000 and see what's happening. See if I can get it down to 1,000. I don't usually target an MPA. I usually just target an effort. We'll see what happens. There we go. Slowly make my way to the front to see if anyone takes. I'm going to oh, it's hard to get to. Oh, yes. This guy catch. Rightio. That should have hurt the legs of others. Now to recover. Yeah, you just fly around at 390 watts, though, David. I gotta remember to super tuck next time. One of the good things and the bad things about the MPA, you know when you're being soft, and you know when you're having a bad day, but you don't know which one's which. The signature is good because it's based on that time of the day of the year. So if I didn't ride for 3 hours, my signature would actually decay. If I didn't ride for 2 weeks, it would decay a lot. So it wouldn't be perfect, but it would be close enough. But I can still do my workouts. I don't know why they're attacking here. I'm just going to catch some of them down. I really think it's the last lap. Good thing is you can't see what the person in front of you is doing. They could be doing 10 watts per kilo. So don't know if they're supposed to sit on them or not. Well, that's good. Good to hurt the legs of everyone. Yep, super tuck. Down buddy, pedals. Alright, stop now. Man, that was bad, 60 watts. I try and bring back the power as much as I can for the super tuck. But as you can see, it just gets stuck for about 2 or 3 seconds if you're not pedaling at all. And while it's probably not an advantage on the downhill, if you're doing that, it's still shit. That's why I got the Dorito. I got the Dorito just to, if I get into higher level races, just to race with the power meter from the Dorito, so I get the super tuck happens much quicker. I know people complain about the super tuck on the Dorito, but I think it's better than the pedals. The kicker I've got, the power can be really accurate one day, next day it can be all over the shop, so it's just not trustworthy. Because it's affected by heat. So as you're riding, if you're going up a really steep climb, it gets hotter and the numbers change. And then you descend and you cool the thing down, and the numbers change again. That's exactly why they made a version 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, last lap everyone. Still a big group. There wasn't that many signed up. That's probably still most of the field. Maybe people race better when they can't see their numbers. Or other people's numbers. Just check to make sure it is the last lap. Yep, 29, 37 kilometre race. I'm guessing there's not going to be a 1 kilometre barrier like the bigger events. It could be, I suppose. I've never done one of these events. There's four stage 1 races today, each different time zones. There's 8 race series. I can imagine getting a top 10 is going to be quite easy on the GC. Who's going to stick around for 8 races? Probably like 5 people. This guy's the guy that caught on last time, I think. I'll just sit on his wheel. I'll try to do the full GC. Depends how the classics go and if I get sick or not. This guy's following me back beautifully. Probably someone on my wheel too. No. I'll catch this over the climb. I think there's a radio tower in it. I think, or was that the Zip Classics? Maybe I'm thinking of the Zip Classics. This guy's falling away. I should probably be super tucking. Yeah, I think I'm doing better at those climbs. I still don't like them. Still a wheel sucker at heart. Trying to let this guy close the gap now. Guessing the group behind is caught up. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's the problem with a 20-minute effort going up it. For my athlete type, like as Ed was talking about, his time to exhaustion. So with my Xert threshold power, it's about my 50-minute effort, I suppose. For an hour, I'm a couple of watts down. Because I've got a little bit more headroom on my threshold power for those little efforts. I mean, 1300 watts as a sprint, or 1300 perfectly fresh for 1 second. Whereas if I had a 900 watt sprint, I haven't got quite as much overhead on my threshold. This guy on the front is pushing. There's no way he's going to win the race. He's doing good effort. Screen guy go past. No, slow down. I should really remove the thumbs. One of the good things about this is there's no name tags and power-ups. One of the issues I have when you come into a sprint, the last 500 metres, you can't see up ahead. All you see is name tags and power-ups. So you don't know if anyone's kicked way off the front. Alright, concentrate. Maybe the climb's not there, maybe we just go straight. Alright, here's. Rightio, if anyone's watching this, we're not late. This is the final lap. We just go over the top here and then down to the beach side. So 3 kilometres to go or something. See. It's a 37-kilometre race. Yep, just under 3 kilometres to go. I wonder what's going to happen after the finish. Whether we have to turn the head-up display back on to see the results. This guy just keeps going. Got to keep an eye on him, mate, because he could get away. Wonder if there's Z-power in this race. This will be brutal for Z-power riders, just to dominate, and no one knows why. So at the moment, I've got a 1,000-watt sprint in me for 1 second. Got to remember to sleep attack this time. Need all the recovery I can get. It's a good demonstration of why the last kilometre is so important for the sprinters in real life. There's a little effort, you drop 50 watts in your sprint power. Alright, I'll stop spinning now, hopefully drop the watts down. Stay on here. Well, I think he's super chucky, he's just not showing you. I talk a lot, David. If I haven't got a live audience, I'm chatting away on that during the race all the time on the texting. I think people want me to shut up most of the time. Well, my max heart rate is about 194. when I'm fresh. I've had 198 before. And obviously the ridiculous heart rate that I've had when I had heart rate issues. All right, this is crunch time. 1200 watts again, that's good. Gotta go before the first bridge. But build the watts. Try and ride someone's wheel. Still going real fast here, probably 50 k's an hour. Someone's gonna go. Okay, here we go. How am I gonna get you? Second to one. Oh, they all pick him up. Oh, I got a breakthrough. Second place. Well, I went too early. Slightly too early. I've been racing against really strong sprinters, so the timing. I'm used to people kicking away from me if I don't go that early. If I just waited, still can't complain about that. 2,540 watts. Was that the guy that was just flying along? Where'd you get that from? Did I do 2,540 watts? Did I get a power meter screw up or what? I have to look back on the feed. See on the graph. Well, I can't use my mouse. Maybe I can. I was going to say. Yeah. I've actually been looking at Chris Hoy's, trying to find his training plans for his gym sessions. Come back. Because what I need to concentrate on now is building my sprint. If I can get another 100 watts, I would have won that race. And I win a lot more. Because at the moment, I'm at the same level as a lot of other guys. It just comes down to timing. If I can just differentiate myself in the sprint, it'll make a massive difference. It's like Holden, Como. Anyway, Holden just dominated for a long while there because he could keep with the pack and then just had the biggest sprint. He struggles now because Swift has often become a lot more competitive. He's still up there, but 2 years ago you dominated. Exactly, David. I mean, I've got to play to my strengths. And the reality is a lot of Zwift races, they're just like that. They're just little punches. It all stays together. So, you've got, obviously, Ed chases the climbing rides, but they're nowhere near as popular. Yeah. I really like the course the opposite direction too. Even though it hurts a lot, you can make little breakaways. And I can hurt the real pure sprinters. Volcano is another good course for me now too. And the best one for me is actually the Titans Grove. If I do Titans Grove, I can remember the Hort route. You and Keith were in that with me. And I managed to stay with the front group. I think you and Keith got dropped. And I just held onto their wheel till I think the Epic KOM. Stayed with them in the jungle and then just crawled up the Alp. And you guys, you and Keith, stronger than me then. I mean, you're still stronger than me now, up the out. But back then, I wasn't as powerful, but I still had a good punch on me. Like I was stronger now. But my point is, I was able to stay in that group, despite the fact that they were all stronger than me for the out climb. Just because I do climb the Alps so well. I mean, I'm saying like Phil Lovett here. I do climb the Titan's Grove very well and descend it because I've got a little bit extra weight to the climbers. I get that momentum over the little rollers. Yeah, that's why I was surprised that Keith wasn't in the group with us. I'm not sure what happened, whether he got a sticky draft or maybe it's just one of those days where he's tired. But he's very light, so maybe Titan's Grove doesn't suit him for the rollers. As soon as you lose the draft on Titan's Grove, doesn't matter how strong you are, you're not getting back. Rightio, before you go, I'll do a quick so if I do stop, I'll save this ride. I'll delete it later because I love having my Zwift metrics instead. So this should update. So this is this ride here. So if I go to view activity, so what did I get a breakthrough on? Maybe I should look at the screen. Yep, so that's a great thing about Xert. You see how I actually got minus 1 watt, minus 0.1 watt. So people, when they first join Xert, they get shit when they get what we call a near breakthrough. So even though it says breakthrough on my ride, it shows that I got really close to my signature. And it assumes that was my max effort, which basically it was. Sometimes you get them if you're riding outdoors and you get to the top of a hill. But if that happens, you can just flag the ride and you get back to your old signature. But the good thing about these fake throughs, for me anyway, is if your signature's not quite right because you haven't had a breakthrough for a while, it just readjusts it so that you've got more confidence in it when you're doing a hard effort. That's Carl. So now I'll go back into, oh no, I've got to go back to this one. So now I'll do an activity and I'll choose a workout. So these are all the workouts I can choose from. And I can do search. So I can search a ride, but let's do this ride. So I go select, indoor, start. Now I haven't got erg on, so I can use erg. Now you got the top one, see how it's different now? Okay, well, it's back now. I had to get rid of the RTX. For some reason, RTX crashed. I just use the Yeti program. So, thanks for hanging around. Yeah, so that's the player. So you can see my power. Obviously, if I'm using erg mode, it will go up, but this is a good way if you want to, as you hate doing erg, I know, David. So it does have a little bit of lag, but pretty close. So it shows you LTP, TP. Then if I go into, let's make sure I'm back. Yeah, not even insert. I'll go back to sessions. Rightio. Okay, so now you can see it's following the, so I'll stop pedaling. It does take a second or two because really you're supposed to look at your phone. This is for your coach to look at, or if you want to have it on the big screen. So you can see my blue line's dipping below what I should be. And then you got your metrics on the right hand side, focus. So if I go to the player, so I can just skip through. Only bad thing is it's got to rewind, but as far as I know, you can't go backwards. It's kind of annoying. Hopefully they put that in. So, yeah, I really like the Xert player because it's basically a computer and your workout player all in one. And of course with the MPA, as you can see when I was racing, it's not such a useful tool like when I'm racing in Zwift races, in high quality races, because I'm not no lab rack. I don't attack and see if I can stay away. I don't use the MPA for that. But if I'm doing a time trial, like the ZRL time trial, I had the MPA up, keeping an eye on it to make sure that I wasn't going too deep on my turns. But if you're doing if you're DSing and you've got 6 riders, and everyone has a different version of what their FTP is. So when you DS, you've kind of got to rely on everyone riding to their perceived exertion, really. So some riders can dig deeper than others. Some riders dig too deep. Phil Lovett's still learning not to be a hero. I mean, I obviously understand that he wants to make it exciting for the channel as well, so he feels like he's obliged to dig a hole for himself. But if you're a DS, you can see that his, not him specifically, I'm just using Phil Lovett because we all watch him. But you can see when someone's digging deeper than other riders. So you can see if one rider's just cruising because they're told to just do 30-second turns, but they're not anywhere near maxing out compared to other riders. And they might not be realizing it. And because with Xert, as long as you feed it good data, you don't need to be doing FTP tests. Like you see then, it updated my fitness signature based on a race. I didn't need to do 20-minute effort max. I just had to do a race, do a sprint at the end, and as long as your signature's fairly accurate, it'll keep you within. I mean, maybe you've got 5 watts difference, but for reality, one day you wake up and you do a test, and the next day you wake up and do the same test. You can be 10 watts difference just because of other factors. Anyway, I'm not really doing this workout very well, am I? I'm sticking nowhere near it. What am I? Exactly, David. No 20-minute test. It's actually one of the reasons why I went to that, because I was doing courier work, riding in a city, doing, you ride 30 seconds to one traffic light, and even if you go through the traffic light, you're still freewheeling. It's probably one of the reasons why I've got that sort of athlete type that I am. Yeah, the thing about Xert though, it uses three things. You got your you've got your low strain, your high strain, and your peak strain. No. Yeah. Anyway, so you got three different inputs about how it does a fitness signature. So if you do a 30-second effort, a 30-second effort still takes your aerobic capacity into account. It might not be a large amount of it, but it's still part of your aerobic capacity. And if you do a 20-minute effort, it's still part of your VO2 capacity. So the only time that Xert falls down is once you start getting into durations where it's not so much about your threshold power now. It's your lower threshold, your energy systems, just how well you've recovered. It does take recovery into account a little bit, but if you do a 5-hour ride and then that ride easy for 4.5 hours and then smash out the last half hour, you won't get a breakthrough unless you're Matthew Vanderpool, because you just don't have the engine to put out the same amount of VO2 power in 5 hours as you are in the first half hour. But people come to Xert and love it, but other people come to Xert and they really pick it apart. And I think that's to their own detriment, because Xert's very simple. It takes the complexity out of your training. If you want to try and use it to make it absolutely perfect, you're going to drive yourself insane with any program. So I find that people that come to Xert and pick it apart, they go to another training program, they pick that apart. They're just constantly finding faults on everything. And that's fine for them, but they're not using the training programs for training. They're using it as a hobby about physiology. Whereas if you, like any training program, if you use Training Peaks, Sufferfest, Xert, Trainer Road, Dylan Johnson, he actually uses that. He doesn't review it because I don't think he follows a training plan as such, because on Xert every day it'll give you, I think I've shown it before on my stream, even like if I look at what workout I should do now, if I look at it in an hour's time, I might choose a different workout based on what I need for that hour. But Dylan Johnson actually uses Xert for the metrics. So you'll see occasionally he'll upload a ride and you'll see breakthrough. But of course, being a coach, he probably uses a lot of different programs just for comparison's sake. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, the reason why I came to Xert is because I didn't want to be doing 20-minute tests every 2 weeks. I just wanted to know how much strain I was doing every day in comparison to my fitness signature, so that I wasn't, if I was doing courier riding, I knew if I was digging too deep, because some days you might have a really busy day, you work 12 hours a day, you're stopping to get on and off the bike, but you're doing a lot of high strain, doing VO2 efforts to and from jobs when it's busy, because you get paid per job. And there's some days where you just, back when I was working that company, which left Australia now, the faster you went, the more jobs you got. So you could make, $60, $70 an hour. So you didn't want to stop working. So it was important to know when you're digging yourself a hole, when you should take days off. Like I'd usually try and take 1 day off a week. Yeah, 1 day a week. That would, my friends who used to work with me, even now, like it was a few years ago, even now we get together and we think, oh, geez, those were the days. And the thing is, we knew at the time that it wasn't sustainable. But you're getting, I used to joke, like we're getting paid $2,400 a week, which is probably, I don't know, $1,600 US a week to ride a bike. And as some of the cycling journalists joke about, like, if you're getting paid that much money to ride a bike, you're a professional cyclist. You're not getting paid to win races, but you're basically, you're winning races every time you get a delivery. It's very funny. We'd see each other in the street and we'd say, oh, I've got 3 orders in the bag. And they're like, oh, I've got 4. And you're like, oh, God damn it. I thought I was doing well. Of course, we had bad days, but then with the company we had, we'd all hang around on the same spot waiting for yeah, exactly. The company I'd work with, we'd all hang around in the same spot when we're waiting for orders. So there's a lot of camaraderie. I remember back then I used to do a monthly trip overseas with the money that I'd earned. Just spend a month mostly in Spain. And I'd usually come back for the peak part of the season in November. And you'd ride 700 kilometers in a week. I'm not quite sure how many kilometers I'd climb, because the problem is when you go and lift some things, sometimes you get an elevation gain. So some days I'd be riding and I'd show me that I've done 2,500 meters of climbing, which wasn't correct. But some days I think I did climb 1,500 meters, because in Melbourne the CBD is really, you've got a 50-meter climb to get over the middle of the CBD. So you go from the main area, up a climb, down to the other area to deliver, and then you go up and back again to pick up. So a lot of the times you just be going back and forth, and it was quite funny, because obviously I was doing it because I like riding, but then of course you had the other people who were doing it for the money, and they weren't cyclists, and they were just dead at the end of the day, going up and down that hill. And you'd get cyclists who would just redispatch orders because they didn't want to go up certain hills. Rightio. I think I've talked too much. I've got to save some content. Can't spill everything in one go. Thanks for hanging around, David. I've got to learn how to stop streaming properly. Maybe if I go, what do you think of this intro?
So I got
already done that one.
Compose
Hello,
a
Chris.
compilation of some of the best.
This one. So I've got that on my main stream. I'm not sure, maybe it's distracting or not. I've just been getting bored. In Melbourne we had a lockdown because we had a few cases, which I know the rest of the world. See you, Carl. Yeah, Chris. So we got lockdown, so we weren't allowed to leave the house for 2 weeks. We've only just come out of lockdown yesterday. So I got a bit bored and I was just playing around with graphics. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Chris's video on you, David. Anyway, I've got to go. You guys have got to get back to work. I've got to fix up my camera. I'm using an old phone, so sometimes it goes a bit horrible. I've got a capture card now that I'm using at the moment to capture my real phone. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, David. You can go and subscribe to Chris's channel. Hopefully one of them watches it. I sent a message saying I'm going to use some of your footage. Is it okay? I haven't got a response back yet. All right. I'll catch you in the next one or the next race, David. See you, everyone.